We in Mayo County Council are delighted that we have been the pioneer of the Community Futures programme in this country. We think that it's the model that should be used by all planning authorities in engaging with communities because it gives the community an ownership of the future and it gives them a real hand in shaping both their place and their destiny. It's based on a vision, a shared vision that is drawn from communication locally and consultation that's turned into an action plan, and then we work collaboratively with the community and with other agencies to deliver as much of that as is possible. Doesn't always get delivered in total, but significant parts do. It's a model that was introduced here by John Call, God be good to him, and Sister Maureen Lally and Terry Gallagher were part of the team that brought it in from Scotland. We've used it for 32 communities and about 14 have renewed those plans over the years. The change that it's made is fantastic, and if you think of places like, say, Mulranny, over the last 10 years, that's been transformed from a very congested, in fact, unsafe environment to a community which is now leading the way in terms of sustainability and winning European awards. It can be that effective. We would like to think that it should be the foundation stone for all community engagement and, in fact, for all planning into the future.
Mayo Community Futures is a community development programme. It's a partnership between local communities, Mayo Community Futures and Mayo County Council, who support the programme. The aim of the programme is to put together a community development plan for our local community. It's very much a bottom-up democratic approach. It requires a lot of engagement by the community, but we find that that engagement and that participation by the community also leads to very strong ownership or sense of ownership by the community for their action plan. The process in the community starts with the formation of the steering group, which is made up of representatives of a wide range of community groups and individuals in the community. We then have a number of tools and methods that we use. The principal one, I guess, would be a household survey, which goes to every household in the community. The second method would be a number of stakeholder interviews. We do 20 stakeholder interviews with key people in the community. And we also do a community profile, just to get facts and figures about the community population, housing and different services that are in there. At the community day, we display all the themes and priorities that we had gathered and that the community had put forward on tables. Everybody in the community is invited. When they come in, they are given a number of dots that they use as votes for the priority projects that they think are going to be most important to them. All that information then is put together with the previous gathered information, and it's put into a draft plan that goes to the community, and from that we get the final action plan. At this stage we assign a community development worker to the community to help them bring forward the plan, and we would have discussions as to how they would like to do that, whether they'd like some training with it for their structures or for helping the groups to bring together, and that's really the basic process.
Knock Community Futures was developed in 2016 as a response to the need for an overarching community organisation to develop Knock and its potential. We set about surveying all the households and businesses in Knock and to determine what they needed and what they'd like to see happening in Knock going forward. Here behind us we have the Pope Francis Plaza. This was something that we worked on through the Town and Village Renewal Scheme, and we got grant aid of €100,000 from a Town and Village Renewal Scheme. The council backed that then with another 60,000, and we were able to create this beautiful outdoor urban space. And it's really been enjoyed by tourists and the people in the community. One of the priorities in the plan was actually to have a broader range of shops and cafes. So we're lucky enough that we've seen 2 or 3 new businesses open, a new sweet shop, a salon, new restaurants. So things are progressing here in Knock. We applied for grant aid towards a feasibility study and to draw up some plans for the community centre. It's quite a poor state of repair at the moment. So we're working on that at the minute. In the next couple of years, we hope to actually do a complete re-enhancement of it and make a state-of-the-art facility that can be enjoyed by the community. All of this has been made possible by the help and guidance of Mayo Community Futures. We've established good working relationships with people in Mayo County Council and our councillors. And we're really working hard to develop Knock, and we have great plans for the future.
So Straight Community Development Group, we started back in 2009, and we did a lot of events here in the hall, community events, but it was obvious to us that we needed to really develop and for Straight to have a more cohesive plan. So we got involved with the Mayo Community Futures, and such a positive project for this community. So we asked all the stakeholders, so the school, the church, all the local groups and organisations who were busy in the community but not necessarily working together, so everyone had their respective roles, asked everyone to come together, and through the Community Futures we developed the Straight Action Plan 2014-2019. It was a huge success. We got such a good response from Straight, which we knew we would. Over 214 surveys, household surveys, all stakeholders got involved, so there was a really positive outcome to that process. And for us, the main priority that came out of it was the community centre and the need for that within our community. So Straight Community Development Group then developed as a company limited by guarantee so that we could apply for leader funding. That was a 2-year process, and we're thrilled to be standing here in our refurbished community hall today. And just a fantastic response, to get that level of funding was fantastic, and the community itself, which raised over €50,000. So that was the commitment, that was the Straight commitment to make this happen. So we opened the doors in July, and just a wonderful response. So now we have a meeting space, we have a place for classes, for activities, we have our youth badminton back and running, we have our indoor soccer, and a real sense that this building is for the people of Straight. And it's been very, very successful, and we would give credit to the Community Futures process for all of that.
We at South West Mayo Development Company have been involved in the Community Futures process from its inception. This is a very good process. It enables communities to work in a collective, connective and consultative way to have a common vision for the whole community. In this way, the communities have a plan. When they come to look for funding for a project, we know that this is be done in a consultative way, and it's a mandate for the whole community. They also have the capacity to deliver on it. Going through the process over a 6-month period, it has strengthened them as a community. In this way, we know that projects that are funded will be delivered on. They have the first step of their funding process done in having a plan in place. It also enables communities to learn from others, to connect, network, to learn from good practice in other communities and pass on their expertise and skills to other communities as well. Communities see the bigger picture. They're not just working in silos for their own organisation, but they're working for the greater good. They have a vision for the whole community and work in a connected, collective manner.
Achill consists of about 20 villages, and what we decided to do is form this umbrella group under Achill Community Futures, and working with the County Council and the government groups to kind of gather us together and, well, amalgamate all the different groups and all the different ideas that we had on the idea. We were all talking with too many voices, and we decided this was our opportunity under this Community Futures umbrella to get us ourselves organised. And it worked out beautifully. We divided the parish into areas of population, and we formed a group with representatives from each of the different areas. We got the school children involved, we got the surveys completed, and we got an amazing result of a 92% return. It was a fabulous exercise in listening to the people, taking in their wishes and understanding really what we needed in Achill and how to form this group. We produced our booklet, and we had our surveys completed, brought in the people, and they voted on the different areas of interest that were important to them. And an example of it is already taking shape under our guidance with the Achill Greenway, which has started. And behind me you will see an absolute perfect vision of it there, where 2 different areas here are linked together by a bridge behind me. This will happen shortly, and the Greenway will extend from Acklesound down to Keele. We're working closely on a broadband project as well, and we hope to have our hub established in Acklesound where people can work from home basically, not having to travel to Castlebar, Westport and Dublin anymore. They will be able to work from their base here in Acklesound. There's other projects in the pipeline, a little bit too early to speak about them yet, but all said and done. Very, very pleased with our work so far.
The role of the Community Futures Development Worker is to support communities that have completed Community Futures Plan. I would meet with the steering group and we would discuss the next steps. And that might involve doing some training for them to establish an umbrella group or to set up subgroups where they could start working on some of the priorities within the plan. The role of the development worker would be to link in with the community in the first year after completing the plan. I also work with communities that are renewing their Community Futures Plan after 5 years. And this is a much shorter process, but it allows the communities to assess what they have completed from the previous plan and what priorities they might take forward and any new projects they would like to work on within the next 5 years. So we've also established networks for communities within each of the municipals. And this affords an opportunity for communities to meet one another and discuss what they're working on. Some communities may be starting out in projects, others may have completed similar projects, and they can share all the information of the pros and cons, what way to go through those projects. It also is an opportunity to have some guest speakers for the different networks depending on the demands there. But the whole idea is that it affords the communities a chance to network with each other.
You'll have seen from the previous contributors that Community Futures have had an enormous impact on how we do our work here in County Mayo, both at a community level and at a local authority level, and how we work with local development companies to deliver the priorities for communities throughout the county. Futures is very significant in Mayo because almost 44,000 people have been involved in some way in Futures over the last 10 to 13 years. This gives us a real understanding of what the issues are for grassroots communities. That's at least one half of our rural communities who have been involved. Into the future, we will be developing, reviewing our local economic and community plan, and the database of information from the Futures process gives us a real understanding of where we should be going as a county, and we will be using this to inform our planning processes into the future. The future for Community Futures is very bright in Mayo, and we're really enthusiastic about the next phase of its development.